Today I'm here on a bit of a motivational note, really. I felt very guilty the past couple of weeks. I felt that guilt for a rather long time. That's what you call a guilt trip. A guilt trip is when you feel guilty of something or of someone for a very long time. I believe that's the definition. Okay, I felt a lot of remorse. Why is that? It's because I rejected someone for the first time, and I've cut off contact with a person because I felt uncomfortable with that person for the first time. This is the first time that I've actually felt so uncomfortable with a person that I've distantiated myself from them forcefully. Okay, not naturally, but I did it out of force and because I did not want to put my feelings down again. I'm going to be honest, I've always been known as a people pleaser. Okay, I've always wanted to set other people's feelings before mine to satisfy myself, or at least create the illusion that I satisfy myself by satisfying someone else without really knowing whether I satisfied my own feelings or my own needs or necessities myself. Now, let me tell you a little anecdote / story and how this freaking happened. So 2 weeks ago, I was on the bus back on my way home. Okay, since I had the time, I just wanted to go on a little, promenade. I love to commute around. I just love to travel, but that's trivial. When I was on the bus, some gentleman approached. Who's?
Approximately 10 hours later.
Guys, I was in a call. I don't even remember what I was talking about. Hold on. This gentleman approached me on the bus and he initiated a conversation. Okay, there's nothing bad about that. Completely innocent conversation. I'm with the church. Yeah, we talk to people to get to know more about them and interact with the community, all that sort of stuff. All the good and charitable, eleemosynary stuff. I said, okay, yeah, that's good, but thing was, I was busy texting me mum. I was busy listening to music, so my focus had to shift to him directly. So I felt completely powerless and very uncomfortable because he invaded my space, kind of forced the conversation because I did honestly not want to talk. But my politeness and my people-pleasing side of myself said, you have to respond to this guy, you have to talk with this guy, or else you're disrespecting him. You have to stay polite, which is actually good. And normally I'm a polite person. So we continued the conversation, and he said, maybe we can pray together. I can get your number. No. And the thing was, I could have said no. Because I don't know this guy. I've just met this guy. I have no business with this guy. But the thing is, it was so livid, it was so vivid, the moment was so abrupt that I just felt pressured. I felt some sort of external pressure coming from him because back there, he was the bigger man. I should have been the bigger man and I should have stood my ground and I should have said, hey, I do not just give my number out to anyone on the street, okay? I mean, I did that to a girl once, but since I felt completely compelled to give him his number because I wanted to be polite, I felt so ambushed. I felt so pressured. Okay, I felt obligated to give him my number. And that's where the mistake started. That was the first mistake. I should have stood my ground. I should have said no at the start. Second mistake I made was to shift my concentration to him instead of trying to multitask, focusing on two things. Third mistake I made is giving him my number. Because you just don't go around giving your actual personal phone number to anyone you meet on the street. So that was a massive mistake I made. They said, oh yeah, when are you available? I said, I don't know because I'm literally right now in the middle of an exam period. I do not have time to call with some random individual I've just met a week ago. Don't do them, don't.
Went to Africa a week ago.
I knew it. I knew you were going to do it, Lloyd, but it's just not permissible, okay? I know he means it good, okay? I don't think he had any bad intention approaching me and wanting to initiate a conversation, but you cannot just go out and collect someone's number like that. I do call that collecting someone's number because it was a conversation of less than 5 minutes. That's literally collecting a number. I do not blame him, okay? This is my mistake. He had an idea. I had a different idea. I did not share my idea. That's the mistake I made. I made his idea overshadow mine so that he is sovereign to my idea and that he gets his will and that I don't, because I'm too scared to set a boundary to a person I do not know. I have little to no experience to setting boundaries, okay? That's why a lot of my relationships actually failed. But hey, that's inconsequential for now. We ended up calling. It was a nice conversation. I'm going to be completely candid and bona fide with you. It was a nice conversation. Still, I felt so obligated and compelled to call with this guy because I planned it. The 30 minutes that I utilized to talk to him, I could have done anything else, studied for example. He kind of forced it. We prayed together. But the thing is, he said, oh, I'm with the church of Thing is, you can just say that and not even believe in Jesus at all, okay? I know I'm Christian, I know I believe in Jesus, okay? But he never said what he himself believes in. He said, oh yeah, I'm going to pray for you. You do not know who or to what or to whom this man is praying to. The only Deus I know is the Father for me. But I don't know who he's praying to. For all I know, he could be praying to nothing. Why am I getting so livid? Let me calm down. So that's also the first flaw of our conflicted relationship. And the thing is, he can say something, whether he means it, I don't know, because I don't know him. And then he said, oh, when is the next time you can call? Can you call next Wednesday? I said, I'm not sure because I have to study and my focus when I was on studies. I tried to lay it onto him, but he tried to force me. So on Wednesday morning, he texted me, oh, are you still available today? I said, no, I am not. Okay, can you do it on Friday? I said, no. He said, no, I can't do it on Friday. Is there any other day? I'm like, bro, if it isn't a business call, you don't have to force me to call you anyways. Respectfully, we are not friends. Even though I would love to be friends with him if he did it the natural and, permissible way. Okay? If he did it the acceptable and natural way, I would have been friends with him with no problems. Okay? No dilemmas, nothing. No palavers, no altercations, no predicaments. It would be peaceful. Trust me. But if you force up a relationship like that, it won't work. And then, after he insisted on calling me, a couple of days later I said, no, I'm not doing this. But the fact that I wanted to set a boundary to a person I do not know made me feel very guilty. It made me feel remorse because that was the first time I set a boundary to an unknown person. So I was thinking like, hey, should I send this guy a voice message or just send him any sort of message to let him know that I do not abide with the way he's talking to me and the way he's interacting with me. Okay? I do not follow. I don't want to follow. I respectfully do not want to have contact with him if that's the way he interacts with people. So, I asked advice to a freaking I. And you won't believe it. See, even Gemini's freaking listen to me. One of my recommended apps is Gemini. It's a long conversation too. So I explained in the entire story. This is what Gemini told me. And now you are stuck in the loop of managing his feelings at the expense of your own peace. Okay? He might have good intentions, but his approach is aggressive and persistent, like I said. He is using your politeness to force an interaction you never wanted. Again, you do not owe a stranger a friendship just because he cornered you on the bus. He did indeed corner me. I was standing in the front of the bus. Things in the bus, there are a plethora and an abundance of people. There's a diversity of people. Of all the people, there were about like 20 people sitting in the bus. He came to me, of all people. And you know what the suspicious thing about it is? He got out the very next stop. That is very, very suspicious behavior. That is devious behavior. How are you coming up on the bus, talking to a stranger, and then getting out the very next opportunity you have? That's actually a freaking smart tactic if you think about it. Like that, I was powerless to telling him, oh, are you sure, or are you this? You know what I'm saying? So he was in power on that situation. So he got his will. He handled that situation like he wanted it. So, like Gemini said, you gave your number under social duress. Telling him the truth sets the record straight and gives you back control over your own life and time. That's what I wanted. And the reason why I feel anxious is because right now, every time he asks me to text or to call, I feel a wave of dread. I had to make up excuses, and I don't really like to make up excuses. No, the 3 things I do not like in life is hearing people that I love saying bad things about themselves too. Being negative, so that's hand in hand with what I just said. And complaining. I hate hearing people complaining. I hate complaining myself. Those are the only things I actually hate. If I pronounce or enunciate the word hate, that means I really hate it. Because I always say to people, I don't hate anyone or anything. But if I say that I hate something, I really hate it. Trust me. Because I always say that I dislike something, okay? Because hate is a very strong word, okay? Words have power, and hate is a word with an immaculate amount of power. Keep that in mind. But I asked Gemini, give me arguments for and against telling him the truth on that text. So, Gemini said as an argument for telling him the truth, if you have no intention of being his friend, letting him know now saves time too. If you have something to say it directly. I personally struggle with this, but I advise you, from all the advice that you should not take from me, say it. I'd rather hurt a person by telling the truth, by comfort a person by lying to them. Okay? You know that I'm an extremely honest person. When I really think about something about you, I will tell you that in the face. Trust me. My friends can back me up for this. Arguments against telling him the truth and being open-minded. For a naturally friendly person, sending a rejection text feels awful. It triggers guilt, what I was feeling, and it kind of still feel now, which you might have to sit with for a few days. I'm still sitting with it. That's why I'm talking about it. And, as you said, he might just be a lonely guy from a church trying to connect. Okay? By being open-minded, you might theoretically form a unique friendship, or at least learn how to navigate different kinds of people. I would love to navigate different kinds of people. In the manner and in the way and in the method that he utilized to approach me. I do not condone that behavior, respectfully. I did not want to argue with him. Look, I was directly convinced of telling him the truth that night, okay? I sent those texts about 9 p.m. at night. I was thinking about it the entire day. And the day after that, I still felt guilty for that guy because I think he has good intentions on that texting and calling. So, since I did not want to argue or hear anything he had to say after that, not because I don't like him, simply because it's a forced relationship, I chose to block him after the voice message that I sent him. I will let you listen to the voice message later. Okay? If he tries to argue, guilt trip, or push you past that boundary, I would block him instantly, is what Gemini said. And I completely agreed to that. Because I would not engage in a long relationship with someone that kind of forced me to give me their number. Okay? It was a natural. Gemini gave me an overview of things that I should consider. The no is a complete sentence. I do not know where the freak Gemini gets this advice. I need all the sources that Gemini has used. You do not need a good enough reason to not want to talk to someone. I don't want to is valid all by itself. That's the same thing my aunt told me when I called her to give me advice on this, because I wanted artificial advice and I wanted human generated advice. There's always a comparison to make there. Of course, they did line up. They did actually kind of more or less grosso modo said the same. But I just wanted to be sure that a human actually would say this, which is actually crazy because a human and an artificial system actually said the same thing. Ask yourself, why is his comfort more important than my peace of mind? That is a vital question, okay? That is an essential question. That is a freaking prominent question to the entire case that I'm telling you right now. That was maybe one of the best advice that I've ever been told by artificial intelligence. I can't believe I'm freaking saying this. You let a stranger invade your space and you're putting his feelings over your own feelings. It has to be and stay about me and not about him. Like that, he does not feel guilty. And I have to give myself as much attention as I can to not make him feel guilty for what he has done. Okay? Because it was not his mistake, it was mine. But I need to convey that to him, that it wasn't his fault because I'm rejecting him. Now I'm going to let you listen to the voice message I sent, okay? I was trying to stall this as much as possible. Like that you can keep watching the video, okay? I want you to stay quiet and listen to what I've said.
Hey, hope you're doing good. I just want
my camera freaking
feel this in English because you're someone who speaks English fluently because you're American. And I figured that would be easier for the both of us since we both understand English and speak English better than we do French. So I'm just going to say this in in English to facilitate what I'm about to say. I felt a lot of discomfort when giving you my number. It's not because of you. It's because of the situation. I felt compelled to be polite to you and be generous to you because I cannot allow myself to say no to someone, which made me give me your number. But deep down inside, I did not. You're a nice person, okay? You're a good person. I know you mean all of this calling and interaction and texting. I know you mean it good. And about the planning and calling, I just don't really feel comfortable with it. It's not because of the religious aspect. It's not because of that. Because I do still interact with God every single day, and I do check my verses, Bible verses from day to day. But my life's focus right now is really on my studies. And even a 30-minute call is crucial and very heavy on my schedule because I have a very tight schedule. Even right now, I'm a bit late on schedule. And the last couple of days, I just felt guilty. I just had a guilt trip of telling you the truth because I literally do not want to harm your feelings. I cannot allow myself to do that. But I just wanted to say I will probably not be available for any calls in the future. And I'm very sorry for that. Because you're a good person, you mean it all good. But I just cannot. I have a lot in front of me. Like after this, I'm going to start going to college. I got work this summer. I got a lot of events approaching, plus the exams that I'm making every single day for the next couple of 2 weeks. And then I'm going to work. I'm going to babysit. It's a lot. I just have a lot in front of me. So I'm sorry to cut you off there. I did not mean to. You're a good person. This is all about me. It's not about you. It's about me. And I just did not want to feel guilty or did not want to put my feelings down because it's seriously starting to grow on me. I'm going to try to keep this message short. I hope this finds you well. May God be with you because He's with all of us. I wish you all the best. and I apologize. My excuses. I am sorry. Good night.
No, someone sent me a message, but I'm going to try to keep this message short. I did not keep it short. That took 4 minutes. But it's really hurtful. That really hurt. Even just listening again to this really hurt. It really did hurt. Okay? I'm going to be completely honest with you. It hurt. It's like such a bad person. I felt like a terrible person for the next 2 days. Okay? I felt so bad. Oh my goodness, you have no idea how bad I felt. I felt that I was mean. I felt that I was respectless. I thought that I was impolite. I tell you, I thought I literally hurt someone physically. Because that's actually the first time I've actually set a boundary and said no to a stranger, said no to someone I don't know, said no because I don't like something. Okay? That hurts so much. Okay? That guilt is just discomfort. Okay? Blocked him. Immediately after that message, I blocked him. I was done. I literally just threw my phone away. I was like, hey, I'm not engaging with this ever again. I did that 5 minutes later, but I tried to let it go because I still have to freaking study every single day. It was so difficult, so challenging to let this go. I'm so sorry. No, I'm so happy that I did this earlier, because if I did this later, it was going to weigh more on me. Okay? And that guilt, that remorse, that sadness, okay, that discomfort is not easy to live with. It's not easy to bear. Okay? I felt a burden to satisfy his feelings instead of mine. Okay? Do you hear what I'm saying? That is mad to say. Okay? I had to. And then even Gemini said, you could have said no on the bus. In the perfect world, you'd have stood your ground immediately 2 weeks ago, kept your headphones on and said, no thank you, I don't give up my number. By giving you the number, you accidentally created a situation where you had to reject him later. I could have rejected him on the freaking spot, but I did not. I did not. And then Gemini ended up saying, cut yourself some slack, because everyone makes mistakes. And I think that is the perfect note to end on. Everyone makes mistakes. But I'm going to shut this video off here. Thank you all for listening. I wanted to share this story, and I wanted to record because I haven't recorded in a very long time, and I'm very happy that I'm doing this. So I want to thank you all for your enormous and non-stop and ongoing support that you're showing me every single day. I want to say that I love you all, that I appreciate you all, and I want to thank you for all the support that you've given me up until now, because I haven't really uploaded a lot, and I really want to thank you for keeping up with me, still coming back to my channel and still supporting me, because there are not a lot of videos coming this year. I'm just going to be straightforward with you. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to shmazzle and subscribe and click the like button. Hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful video, and of course wish you one. And a big bye. Bye bye. Okay, I'll get it.